All right, guys, let's get started. I think today is session, we're going to chat about onboarding, right? So if you are one of those people who want to keep the client for long term and you want to have the engagement for long term or with your client, onboarding is one of those things which you want to make sure um, that is done really well. All right, it's one of those things. If you don't do it right, um, what's going to happen is if onboarding is not done right, it's like having a first kiss or having a first date. Girls can tell you exactly how long this relationship is going to last, right? Based on the first date and first kiss. So onboarding is like that with your clients. When you have a first meeting with your clients, how this relationship is going to look like, how far this relationship is going to go, is all depend on the onboarding session you have with your clients, right? So let's have a look at the onboarding, right? And that's why onboarding is, I truly believe that onboarding is one of the crucial steps. And if you don't have an onboarding process in your company, in your business, then everything is sort of all over the place, and the relationship with your client is not going to be, sometime is not going to be that good. And also the second thing is it's not going to last for long enough, right? The way. So if you are one of those people, if you're running a business right now, and this is something I learned the hard way when I started my business for the first time. One of the things which I was doing, which was completely, um, I wouldn't say wrong, but that was a learning process, is that every month I was going out and hunting for the clients, right? Every month was one of those things of just going out and hunting for the clients. And after a few months, I just got tired, and I realized that the reason I loved the job so much, and reason I felt better working for somebody else, is not because I wanted a job. The job gave me only one thing, which was called a security, like certainty, right? And every business, every human being need a certainty, depending what your high, what do you like, if your masculinity is high, if your femininity is high, if you um, in that sort of frame where you have more feminine side, then you look for more certainty, right? If you yeah, that's just the one thing. But make sure that we all need certainty, right? So that's why in the business world, it's really important for us to have some clients paying us consistently every month. If you're going out and hunting for the clients, it's just going to get really hard, right? So that's why it is so important. So the first thing is, uh, we really need to have this in place, right? So one advice you can take away from the entire section today is go out and put your own onboarding process in place. If you don't have it, write it down, whatever that might be, whether it's a 3 lines, 5 lines, some sort of steps in place. How does that look like? And you grow from that. And I can suggest you certain things as part of this process, what you must have, right? So if you're running a digital agency, if you're running a marketing agency, number one thing you must have as a part of the onboarding process is called your setup sheet. Setup sheet is all about getting the access sorted, right? Meaning that I need access to certain things to be able to help you really well, right? So you need access to certain things. One of the worst thing can be that every month or every other week, every other day, you're going out to the clients and asking them, hey, can I have access to your Facebook account? Hey, can I have access to your email? Hey, can I have access to your domain manager? This is one of the worst thing, right? Because clients can see that, hey, you're not organized enough, right? So you create a setup sheet. Setup sheet is all about where the setup instructions are, right? How you're going to be setting up their accounts. Meaning that if you need access to, this is how the sheet looks like, which is a Google sheet we use. You write it down exactly what you need access to. You need access to domain manager. You need access to their email account, if there is any. You need access to their Facebook, whatever that access you need. Google SOE, Google account. If you're doing that, you need the access to their DNS, so that you can actually set up their domain name, all that sort of stuff, right? So you need a setup sheet, and setup sheet is all about that access, right? So that's the number one thing. Number two is, I do that. Uh, uh, Advise them about something, that how the um, how you're going to onboard them onto your system. So this is your system access. right? So depending what sort of services you're providing, right? For example, if you are just doing marketing for them, are you going to onboard them into your Slack, right? Or any other tool you use, right? So what is the system access means that what sort of access they need to have to be access to their system. For example, you need to onboard them into your email if there is any, right? Or Slack, or any sort of, if there is nothing, just ignore this, but you need a system access, right? You need to onboard them into your system. What we do is pretty much onboard all of our clients, especially very consulting clients, into Slack, right? Slack is for us. We make sure that every onboarded consulting clients is part of the Slack so that we can start having conversation. That's the other thing which I notify them on the onboarding call. Hey, these are the certain things we won't do it, meaning that we tell them exactly we will not have a conversation through Messenger, right, or other bits, right? So or won't have a conversation by email or anything, right? You tell them exactly how things are going to work, because um, it's your job to tell them how the relationship is going to look like in the future, right? So your job to make sure that everything is, they understand how things are going to work, right? uh, Number three is questions, right? I send them certain questions to understand them a bit more. So this is nothing more than is a Google form with set of questions, right? Set of questions about, hey, who's your target market? Hey, what's your target market demographic look like? Hey, what's your target market psychography look like what do they like to watch videos, all that sort of stuff. Hey, what is your offer look like everything goes better, what is your offer, how much you charge, what is the pricing look like? So all these are the questions you must send it to them to understand their target market better, right? So you can also, if you're part of the ABS community, you know that we have KYC process, right? If you are part of the ABS, you know the KYC process. One of the things you can do is you can have one-on-one very specifically for KYC to understand their clients, right? So go through all the steps which we have given to go through the KYC process, understand the clients, understand where they're at and what they're trying to do. So what it does is it makes you feel, so please, please, please don't send them the documents. Don't send them the documents like if you want them to fill out 5 or 6 documents, unless it's just a form with 9 or 10 questions, then it's okay. But don't send them forms and forms and forms to fill out, because client's not going to do it and it's going to take a long time, right? So just give them enough. Or the other thing you do is when they have the onboarding, you can actually walk them through as well. So, but you must have certain questions. One of the questions I always ask him, always, and this has been part of the questionnaire process since I started this journey. 2 questions actually. One is, what does success look like for you? What does this success look like for you? Meaning that understanding what does success mean to them is very important, because if you understand that what they're looking for as a success, then it's really cool. So ask them these questions. In other words, is hey, for us, for you to be really happy with this engagement, what we need to do as part of this for next 3 months, what would make you really happy if we do certain things? Write down 3 things. So you ask them in a certain way so that they tell you exactly what's going to make them happy, right? It's really important for you to see that, because sometimes you might just do everything except what they actually wanted you to do, right? I hope that makes sense, because you might do everything except what they wanted you to do. So you need to be really, really, really precise and ask them, hey, what would make you happy? What would make you happy? Write down the 3 things which make you happy after our engagement is done. The other question I always ask is, what made you hire us compared to anybody else in the marketplace, right? What made you hire me compared to anybody else? The reason we ask this question is because um, you need to understand it, why you were the one they picked out of 50 in the marketplace, right? Why did they pick you compared to anybody else? Because once you know that, that might be your trump card for the next Facebook ad, for the other thing you're going to do in the marketplace, right? Because you need to know that why people are hiring you. compared to anybody else, right? So that's one of the important bits you must have in place, right? So one is this, so you can explain them, go through that, and ask them for access questions, and fill out that, right? So uh, let's look at it, what to expect, right? What to expect on the call. So when you are on the call, so this is before the call, you can send them this stuff. So when you are on the call, you need to sort of talk about the delivery, right? Delivery is the number one step. What is the weekly plan look like for the delivery? Like how you're going to deliver? Hey, this 1 week we're going to do this. Week number two, this is what we're going to do. Week number three, this is what we're going to do. Here is what it looks like, right? So you talk to them about the plan of the engagement. What does that look like? Who's there? Number two is who is responsible? Who is responsible for this, delivery this? Meaning that if you have a team of people working with you, you need to provide the name, right? If David is responsible, the David is there, that he's going to be doing this. If somebody else is working on this, you can point their name as well, right? So you tell who is responsible, and also, Mr. Client, who is going to be responsible on your side, who David can talk to, right? Who is the person on your side you want to nominate so that my team can have effective conversation if we need to have it, right? So you speak to them about this. Who can I speak to? If my team have any issues about the access, about this, who are those people we want to have a conversation with, right? So this is very important because you need to know who in the client side going to have a conversation, right? Number three is on the call, you tell them exactly how this communication is going to happen. Yeah, weekly com. Meaning that if something goes wrong, you need to Slack message it, or you need to send me SMS, or you need to send an email. This is how it's going to happen, right? So you need to advise them about that. What I usually say is, what is your communication model look like? So one of the best thing you could do is have Mondays in the morning, have dedicated for this. Send out every client an email or a Slack message or whatever the medium of conversation or communication is. You send them to every week. You send them, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what we want to get it done. This is for this week's goals are. This is what we're looking to do for you this week. Because these calls or Mondays sort of decide how things going to work on this week. So have this. So communication model decides where you're going to be, right? How you're going to be having conversation. Hey, Monday, this is what we're going to do on, we can catch up this week or this day or this time to have our weekly consulting calls, for example, right? So you have conversation model. The last one is all about your vision. And this is, I learned the hard way. And I'll give you a very quick short story with this. Um, some of the client, when we worked early on, we only did funnel building for them. Like, for example, they come to us, we put a lead magnet together and we did certain things for them. Like, we built a lead magnet, we built a funnel for them, and everything was ready, everything's done. And we didn't end up working with the client more than 3 months. We just didn't work with the client for more than 3 months. And the reason for this was, I believe, it's just because we haven't, or I made a mistake that I didn't have, or I didn't actually point them to how this journey looked like for the next 12 months, right? So meaning that I told them for the first 3 months, this is what we're going to do for you. And this is how it looks like, meaning that we're going to build a funnel for you. We're going to do these certain things for you, right? The first 3 months were very, very, very clear for the client's perspective. Everything was clear, right? This is what they're going to get. But after 4 to 12 months, there was no clarity. Like, they have no idea what we're going to deliver. Because they have no idea what we're going to deliver, they didn't continue with it. There was nothing happen after that. So I always say this now is, yes, you talk to them the first 3 months, but on the onboarding call, it is your responsibility to tell them what happens after that as well. Meaning that, hey, when everything finishes after 3 months, you do monthly. This is what we're going to do every month for you. And you actually advise them what does that look like step by step on every month when you work with the client, right? Does it make sense? Type in yes if that makes sense, right? If that makes sense, let me know, right? So it's a really, really important for all of you guys to be keep in mind that if you want to work with a client for 12 months and beyond, you need to tell them about your vision, right? This is very important because client have no clue what else can you do it for them. They know that 3 months are pretty clear. Hey, this is what are you going to do for them, but after 3 months, what's going to happen? They don't know what's going to happen because you haven't told them that yet. So my suggestion would be have a 12-month plan instead of 3-month plan. So the 12-month plan, this is what it looks like for us. Like for example, when we deploy the daily content machine on any client's business, the daily content machine is all about first 3 months. This is what we're going to do, meaning that we're going to create content for you for the first 3 months. And after 3 months, this is what we're going to do, meaning that we're going to use Facebook marketing to deploy that content to the wider audience. Here's one big problem I found with most of it. So I'm talking about the daily content machine. What happened? One of the biggest thing what we found is when we deployed the fast growth method in anybody's businesses, people didn't have content or enough content, right? They just didn't have it. Whoever we worked with, they didn't have the library. They didn't have the content vault. Because they didn't have the content wall, we just couldn't deploy our full fast growth method system in the business. So each time we asked for more content, there was a delay, right? Delay for a month, delay for 2 months, delay for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? Because clients busy, you got to understand it. Clients busy, it's fine. And they are busy in their own stuff. They don't have a time uh, dedicated to build content. They just don't have, because that's not what they do. That's not what their main business is. So because they don't have content, they, even though they paid us, they just couldn't deploy, or we couldn't deploy the entire system in the business. So what we said is we need to change the way we look at the problem. Client has a problem, we need to provide a solution. So we provided the daily content machine as a solution. The first 3 months, we create a content for you. You don't need to worry about it. We do it for you, and we do certain things in your business. And after 3 months, we're going to do this for you. So it's a 12-month plan, but divided into two sections. The first 3 months, we just do the, pretty much the content for you. So after 3 months, if you decide you don't want to work with us, you still have a vault full of content. But after 3 months, if you decide to work with us, we can use the same content we created and reach to the more audience. What it's going to do is it's going to build your credibility in the marketplace, so that, because it's your voice, it's your content, it's your videos, so that you can reach more people, right? So this is how you need to think from a client's perspective. So I think what happens most of the time, especially in the marketing world, what we do is we kind of start blaming the clients that they don't do certain things, right? So, but what we need to come up with saying, hey, client has this genuine problem. The reason they can't do it is because they're doing this. They're busy in their own things. For example, many people, I have the biggest problem, right? I'll give you a straight problem. So we did leads for a lot of clients. Like we, deployed leads or lead magnets from so many clients, like so many clients, and pretty much 99% of them have this one major problem. We gave them the leads and they just didn't have enough time to convert them. They just didn't have enough time. They were busy in doing their thing. They were calling people after a week, after 10 days, and there was a lag, meaning that the moment they downloaded the lead and it taking time for them to call them, which was, fair enough. They were busy, but that's a problem. If that is a problem, then we can't say or blame the client. Hey, you're not calling it. You can blame it, but that's not a solving a problem, right? Solving a problem would be coming up with a solution which client says, hey, I know I couldn't call, but this is what happened. So we come up with a solution saying, hey, instead of giving you leads, we'll give you meetings booked. Like forget that leads work, right? Leads are the one where you need to pick up a phone and call. What if I just give you a meetings booked, meaning that these are the people ready to work with you, ready to do a business with you, right? Yes, you charge more for that, but what from a client perspective? It's the full-on client, right? Ready to do a business with them. So that's why you need to come up with these things and trying to find a solution to the problem rather than having this push and pull between you and a client, right? So 12-month vision is all about describing how things going to work when after 3 months is done. When I started for the first time, I went first for 12 months. 12 months just didn't work out because client and I didn't have any relationship. They just didn't want to work with us for 12 months. What works the best? We do it for first 3 months. And if you decide that we are the best for you to work with, let's continue our journey for the next remaining months for 12 months, right? So that's what we want to do with every client. Explain them the vision for the 3 months, but also explain them what happens after 3 months. So this is the what onboarding process look like. Please make sure that you have some sort of checklist, some sort of steps for your company, making sure that certain things are done. Um, Teams are very important. If you have other people doing the work, you must make sure that you introduce them to the client. You say, hey, David's going to be doing this, and this person is going to be doing this, right? Or if you have somebody based in other part of the world, you take the responsibility. I have a team who are doing this, but I'll be your point of contact in this country, right? So they don't need to worry about that. So meaning that you become the middle person and everything sort of goes through you rather than somebody else. All right, guys, hope this makes sense. Go out and put the onboarding process in your business. If you don't have it, um, yeah, if you need more help with this, let me know. This video is going to be live soon. Type in below if you need more help. Happy to help defining that, how that looks like for your business. All right, that's it for me. Thank you. If you got any question, let me know below this video. Or if you're watching live, let me know right now if you got any questions. Hope you guys doing well. That's it for me. Thank you.